Shalom. This is an emergency broadcast alert, giving all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai, Bahashim Rakah Kodash, in whom we are in great debt. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone who rule well, continue doing so, standing firm in the eyes of terror, who I learned this truth from. To the elders, the bishops, Akim, Nakwab, salutations and blessings to the house of David. We are the hopeful elect. And this video will be a little long. Actually, very long. Because is a collage of videos that I put together. Although this is not a celebration, this is a presentation of the end of Esau Edom. And so we begin by showing you the first clip. Now, mind you, you must, and when I say you must, those people who do not understand that the Lord Yahweh sends his son to do all his marvelous works upon the earth, and the angels carry the works, and through the Holy Spirit, the word. And I'm going to say it this way because it is for dummies. You must understand. Do the little bit of research. If you're offended, hold yourself back and think for a minute. Did you or did your father and mother see the world the way you see it today? Is the things that are happening to you today considered worse than what the old parents went through? We shall see. Let's play the beautiful footage.
Biblical icons where Jesus or the Virgin Mary have dark skin, or even Abraham or King David. Then look beyond Europe, Russia.
Salakia, you should look up the name of the Messiah in Hebrew.
Has opened its vaults to reveal biblical icons featuring darker skinned figures. In case this is making you wonder if Russia has its own twist on biblical figures, the answer is a no. This is not the case at all. This is, a matter of fact, as real as the untouched horizon of time. These icons aren't just artistic anomalies. These hold deep meanings of hidden shaded truths, sparking serious, curious questions about history and faith, representation, and the unexpected corners of religious art. Pay close attention, amazing people. You are just about to hear it today, like it is, in this video. Before we continue, kindly endeavor to hit that like button as a way of supporting our works. Share with your families and friends to keep spreading our eye-opening black narrative, and subscribe to Stay Put for more, while you help in building the rising membership of this channel. We appreciate your support. First and
back to that point where the stronghold being the most fortified, and where most of the fighting takes place in the city. When we bring out the word, a lot of times they fight against us. And we have to go blow for blow to eventually get the victory. Like when you're boxing, you're a contender. And you ain't just the only one throwing blows. So when this word come out, it's like we literally have to compete against their knowledge with ours.
I got you, man. It's Hebrews chapter 4, verse 12. You got that? Yeah. For the word of the Lord, Yahweh Bashem Yahushua God, is quick and powerful and sharper than any two-edged sword.
Yeah, do you notice? You notice when a word come out, and a lot of people got yeah, if you notice, a lot of people like in these different religious organizations was convinced to believe our word once those contentions happened. Like a lot of those debates with Egyptology guys, a lot of them guys came into the truth off of breaking down their doctrine, breaking down their understanding of life and bringing it back to the scripture. Yeah, that like because when we bring out the word, we really diligently break down your beliefs and ours. That's what Paul was doing. You know what I'm saying? Paul had to. You had a question? Yeah, the KJ version. Yeah, the original version. But you got any questions?
Yeah, I was just curious. I've been introspecting a lot of different beliefs. I'm just listening, you know what I mean? Okay.
Can I ask you a quick question? What would you say your nationality is?
Black.
Black man? Yes. All right. Well, I want to first about say, black is just a color, right?
I'm a human being.
Okay, that's fine. So what we doing is pretty much, according to the Bible, there's 12 tribes, and
you believe in the Bible?
Yeah, of course. The Bible tells you about everything of life. So, yeah. Any questions you have?
All right. I just got one question.
Okay.
I'm trying to find the true God.
Okay.
So I'm trying to fulfill this. So I'm just curious about Psalms 83:18.
Yeah, give me Psalm 83:18. Real quick, beautiful.
Yep. This is Psalms chapter 83 and verse 18. That men may know that thou, whose name alone is is Jehovah, art the most high over all the earth.
What's your question about? What do you want to know about?
You're like my son, I swear to God.
That's great.
You just said Jehovah's the most high. That's what the Bible said. Okay.
Yeah, what's your question about?
Nah, because I said that earlier to somebody that I'm trying to find the true God. I know people pray to Allah, Jah, pray to Jehovah, so I'm just trying. He said go to Psalms 83:18, and it's going to tell you who the true God is.
Yeah, that's true, but
in the name, Psalms 83:18 said Jehovah is the most high, right?
But we have to read with understanding. Do you know that the God of the Bible is a Hebrew name? His name is a Hebrew because his people are Hebrew Israelites.
Like the scripture, look at the scripture. It says Jehovah. Just said,
yeah, it said Jehovah. Correct. In the Hebrew, the word that Jehovah is Yahweh, because there was no J's and no V's in the Hebrew. J didn't come into existence until hundreds of years ago. So what? 1524.
To my understanding, that's why I was listening. I just wanted to make sure that what the brother shared with me was true.
Right.
So he asked me, that's why I asked you,
right.
Believe in the Bible? I asked you what you was reading. You said the Bible.
Yes.
So he told me, any Bible, Psalms 83:18 tell you who the true God is.
Right.
So that's why I was listening. The one thing I don't want to do is be confused.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm 54 years old, I'm searching for the true God. You know what I mean? So the brother first told me, he asked me, you believe in God? I would like to believe I believe in God because the human body tell you this is a higher power.
Right, of course. Absolutely, of course.
Right? So he said, yo, go to Psalms 83:18, it's going to tell you who the true God is. I said, all right.
Right. And when you call upon that name, you say Yahweh. Because remember, originally, like your brother mentioned, the Lord's people speak Hebrew. So he wasn't saying Jehovah if the letter J didn't exist 1,000 years ago. How could you call on the name Jehovah? So when you go there, if you actually look up that word Jehovah in the Hebrew, it's Yahweh. So that's how you say Jehovah in Hebrew, Yahweh.
Yeah, but quick question.
Right.
We speak English, right?
Right.
So but that's the way it was spoken. They were talking about Yahweh. So he said the translation in English is
Right.
Jehovah.
Yeah.
That's why I asked you, what are you reading?
Of course.
Bible.
Of course. You got to read it in English because how else you gonna understand it?
Absolutely. So
it.
the only reason I'm asking,
Yeah.
again, is because I'm trying to find the true God.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find, everybody keep telling me they're going to the Bible.
Yeah.
Yo, my name is Q. So, yo, Q, you believe in God? Yeah, I believe in God. Now, creation tell you that
Of course.
it got to be a higher
It gotta be.
power.
It gotta be,
You
of
know,
course.
So he said, yo, without any confusion, Q, when you get home, go to a Bible and read Psalms 83:18.
There you go. That's it right there.
So I was like, okay. That's the only reason I stopped and I'm listening to you.
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Did you go to the top of that chapter?
Yeah, let me bring it to you.
This is Zephaniah chapter 3 and verse 9. It says, "For then will I turn to the people a pure language."
Right. And the pure language is the Hebrew. So again, it goes back to our point. In order for you to understand the Bible, you have to first understand nationality. And the reason why I asked you your nationality is because you're gonna say a black man. Give me Psalms 83. Straight to the.
Like you look at the word Adam in the Bible, in the Hebrew the word Adam is Adama. It means of the ground. Because man was made of the ground. Everything that's in man's body is in the soul of the earth. You got sulfur in the earth, you got sulfur in your body. You got magnesium in the earth, you got magnesium in your body. You got iron in the earth, calcium in the earth, you got that in your body. So Adam in the Hebrew is Adama, which means of the ground. Jehovah in English, but as a name was given, it's Yahweh. Exodus, what's that? Exodus when Moses asked the Most High, when they asked me who sent me, whose name shall I say? And the Lord said, tell them that I am sent you. When you look at that in the Hebrew, but as we say, it's Yahweh. So I am, Yahweh means he is.
He can become what he wants to become.
For example, Yahweh means he is. In other words, he is or he to be. The Most High is everything and is in all things. And through the Most High, all things consist and continue to exist. The things seen and unseen. So when the Most High said to Moses, he said, tell him that I am sent you. Or in other words, tell him that he is sent you. You understand? The Most High said I am, but we say he is. So when we say his name, we say Yahweh. For example, you got Jehovah's Witnesses, but it's really Yahweh's witnesses. The witnesses of Yahweh. Most High didn't say, say Jehovah when he was with the Israelites in Mount Sinai. There was even no J's back then. So yes, his name is Yahweh in the Hebrew, but in the translation they put Jehovah. So that's the way.
But is that the correct pronunciation?
Jehovah?
Jehovah.
No.
Because the translation, like languages, was changed, so they don't have the same force as the origin of the word.
For example, Julius Caesar. There was no J's at that time. So when they said Julius Caesar, they said Julius Caesar. They said Julius Caesar, because J was like an I at that time. So they said Julius Caesar, they said Julius Caesar. There was no J's when the Lord was on the scene. There was no Jesus. It was, that's why they say Jesus. Ain't that a Spanish way of saying Jesus? Jesus? You ever heard somebody say Jesus Christos? Well, that's how Puerto Rican, that's how people speak Spanish say. They don't got a J there. So, of course, the word Jehovah is going to be that way because you got to take it from the Hebrew.
That's wrong?
You got to be it from the
In the Bible, is that wrong?
Is that wrong?
Yeah.
That's not the way he said his name. So you could say, yeah, it is wrong. That's not how you actually pronounce his name. But that's why we said to you
So the
before.
Bible is wrong.
No, but that's why we said to you, you got to go into the Hebrew, brother.
I had a
Yes, he confused.
Origin. I'll tell you why.
Oh, read that.
One reason I'm saying I'm confused because I'm only going on what the Bible says.
What the book of
She
I understand what you're saying.
Apocrypha.
What it says?
The Bible says.
That's all I have. I have that. Yeah.
Now read. Now you got to say real quick. This is very open in the Bible. It says the whole Bible containing Old and New Testaments, translated out of the original tongues, and with the former translations diligently compared, revised, King James Version. So it's out of the original tongues. The original tongue is Yahweh. When you read certain scriptures in the Bible,
No, but I totally get what you're saying.
Okay.
I totally get it, right? My only question is, then the Bible is wrong, is what you're saying.
no, it's not. Here's the thing.
So the
It's not-
translation is incorrect.
No.
It's just, let me this.
Let me read real quick. Ecclesiastes chapter 1, and I'm gonna read. It says, "For the same things uttered in Hebrew and translated into another tongue have not the same force in them."
Another
So
tongue
when
is another
something,
language.
so when something goes from one tongue to another, it don't have the same force, man.
Yep. And not only these things, but the law itself and the prophets and the rest of the books have no small difference, but they are spoken in their own language.
So see what it is that he's seeing the word Jehovah there. So he's saying, well, if that's not his name, then the scripture gotta be wrong. Well, here's the thing: it's not written in Hebrew; it's written in English. So
the
if you go,
translation, so basically
Go
what
ahead.
you're saying, the translation is incorrect.
the translation,
Because only reason I'm asking because I see
Right.
you reading from the Bible.
Right.
So that's why I asked.
it's the correct translation, but that's not the pronunciation of the name. You understand? It's the correct translation. The way you say your name in English might be said different in another language.
No, that's understood.
But
I totally get
but
that.
your name in the original language which it's come from is the way it's intended to be pronounced. But somebody else may say it in a different way. Like you may say Miguel, or somebody might say Michael. They both mean the same thing. Miguel, Michael both mean the same thing. Yahweh, Jehovah, it has the same meaning. But it's put right here in the English so that people who read English can understand it. If it was written in Hebrew characters, you wouldn't even be able to read the Bible.
Right. See, that's why one can appreciate the translation. And yo, respectfully,
Right.
I'm just trying to find out. Everybody keeps referring me to Psalms 83:18.
Yeah.
What else could I go with?
Right. But you know what it is though? Right.
I mean, no, because I want you to say what you got to say because I want understanding this when I'm.
But you know what it is though? They'll direct you. You get that scripture.
Quick question. I just want to see if the 3 bus is running.
Okay.
3 buses running?
I'm not even sure, bro. Yo, what? Come out of camera real quick.
Speak for this one over his head. You know, this one like outside.
Zephaniah chapter 3.
I don't mean to disturb your balance.
Right.
I'm just trying to.
It's no good. It's all good. It's all good.
That's all. I always see y'all. Not this particular. I always see y'all around. So I was like, today, I was debating on having, a sit down with the Bible. You understand? And I'm just trying to find out who the true God is.
Right.
I know that Jah. Someone told me that all of that means Jehovah.
Right.
Yahweh, Jah, all that means one name.
Check this out. Check that out.
This is Zephaniah chapter 3 and verse 9. For then will I turn to the people a pure language, that they may all call upon the name of the Lord to serve him with one consent.
Now, we'll serve you in 1%. So it says,
Calling the Lord.
calling the Lord. And
This
this
kind of question.
that.
Lord is a title.
Right.
Is that correct?
Right.
Don't God got a name?
Right. Now I'm glad you said that. Now,
Mr. Governor, Mayor,
I'm glad you said that.
President, all
I'm
those
glad
are
you said
titles.
that. Now here's the thing. When you go into the Bible and you see that word Lord in all caps, and you look at it in the Hebrew, that word there is Yahweh.
So we're back to Jehovah again.
So you're back to Yahweh again. Remember,
in that language.
in that language, exactly.
In our language is Jehovah, right?
Yeah, but here's the thing. That's why the scripture says you're gonna return unto him. You're gonna return to people a pure language.
On the islands and in the settlements hereafter to be established, no white person whatsoever, unless military officers and soldiers detailed for duty, will be permitted to reside, and the sole and exclusive management of affairs will be left to the free people themselves, by the laws of war and orders orders of the President of the United States. The Negro is free and must be dealt with as such. Section 3 gives us even more details. Each black family will get their own land, not more than 40 acres that they can cultivate. If the land is next to a water channel, they can have up to 800 feet of waterfront. The military will make sure they are safe until there comes a time when these people can do it on their own, or Congress officially settles their ownership rights. Nothing was in the order about people getting a mule with the land. However, some families did receive mules from the Army because the Army had excess mules that were left from the war. Not only would this order give black people a better life, but it would also break the power dynamic that slaveholders in the South held, the power that shaped the country and the way society viewed black people. Everything was going according to plan. The Union generals divided plantations into smaller settlements so black Americans could make use of them. Those who settled there started working on their land right away. About 1,000 people settled on Georgia's Skidaway Island. By June, 40,000 out of 4 million freed slaves received their end of the bargain. But well, you guessed it, the public was furious. They literally lost it. Confederate sympathizers and rich Southerners believed that General Sherman was out of line. The land that he promised to the black people was not his to give. It still belonged to the plantation owners, so it had to be revoked. If the government wouldn't do it the easy way, they would do it the hard way. That's exactly what happened. Lincoln was assassinated on April 15, 1865. President Andrew Johnson revoked the field order and the promise was broken. Confederate owners got their land back, but they also got hungrier and thirsty for revenge. They wanted to make sure that black Americans would never put them in the same situation again. From 1887 to 1892, 9 states enforced laws that would segregate America. It was the start of the Jim Crow era.
Was working for the Rockefeller Institute, and he went to San Juan in the 1930s to research anemia. A lot of Puerto Ricans were suffering from anemia as a result of hookworm. And he took his, he'd been trained in Harvard, but suddenly when he got to San Juan, he became a different kind of doctor. He took his location, being in Puerto Rico, as sort of licensed to do whatever he wanted, however he wanted it. So this is what we have accounts of. First of all, he refused to treat some of his patients just to see what would happen. He tried to induce disease in others, again, to see what would happen by restricting their diets. He referred to his patients, to his colleagues, as experimental animals. And then he wrote a letter. He sat down and he wrote a letter in which he said to a colleague in Boston, he said, Puerto Rico is beautiful. The weather is incredible. I love the islands. However, the problem is with the Puerto Ricans. They're awful, they steal, they're filthy, and the thing to do really is to totally exterminate the population. And then he said, and I've started that. I've killed 8 of my patients, and I've sought to transplant cancer into 13 more. Hope you're doing well in Boston. Yours sincerely.
As Americans gear up to celebrate Thanksgiving, a day symbolizing a friendly autumn feast between Native Americans and colonial pilgrims, we're reminded of the true plight and untold story of destruction of a culture that this country is really founded upon. To gain insight on the history and current struggle of Native peoples, I'm here in San Francisco with Roxanne Dunbar Ortiz, leading Indigenous scholar, activist, and author. Her latest book is titled An Indigenous People's History of the United States. We grew up learning that Columbus discovered America and that whatever society existed before that was primitive and barbaric. Talk about what Native society really looked like at that time.
It was just the opposite. The whole hemisphere was actually ancient in terms of cultural development and population migrations there, unlike the theory of the Bering Strait and of the wandering Neolithic. That's mainly from North America, that settler colonialism wanting to make the native disappear. Columbus came first to the Caribbean, which was a swarm of trade routes and interchanges among all those people of the islands. And very few people know that of the 7 designated areas of the beginnings of ancient agricultural civilizations, we know when we grew up, well, Tigris-Euphrates River, of course. That's the one we know best because supposedly that's where Europeans got culture from, a very contested area still. But we also know about China, had two areas of agricultural civilization development, and in North Africa. But the other 3 were in the Americas. One was in the Andes, agricultural civilization, one central Mexico, Mesoamerica, and the other the entire eastern half of what is now the United States. So actually they were conquering, when they came to North America, they were conquering an area larger than and richer in agriculture than Europe at the time. So they basically annexed all these things. These civilizations, advanced civilizations, existed when the Europeans came, and they appropriated them. In North America especially, they have a rewriting of history so that by the time later generations get there, say after the 13 colonies are formed or the United States is independent, those 13 colonies are independent, they see none of that because it's all been appropriated and changed.
So the first questions you ask might be dumb, but they're setting the foundation. So you might say, so you believe that you're descended from Jacob? Yes, okay. Right. Now, you believe there's then Gentiles and then there's Hebrews in the world, right? Yes. Okay, so you believe you're a Hebrew. What's your view of these other nations? What will happen to them? What's their purpose? What's God's opinion of them? What does the Bible say about them? Usually Hebrew Israelites, they think they're the Bible guy in the room, so say, well, let me read a verse. So you have to, and they assume it's saying what they're saying it says, so they'll go and you have to, so I'll say, well, what is that verse saying? How did that answer if you're not clear on what it's saying there? So you'll kind of know right away. Do they think so-called other nations can't even attain salvation, or do they think it's not even something that's attainable to them? Okay. The ones who don't think it's attainable, that would usually be someone who's descended from one West Israelism. Most Hebrew Israelites don't know those terms. Like a lot of us don't know, very few Christians know like maybe more than maybe a dozen, if that, of what other denominations really believe in detail. It's similar with them, and how many of them know their history? People who have been in Assemblies of God for years may not actually know much about the Assemblies of God history or Foursquare or whatever it is, right? But that question will help you a lot. Other questions I believe that are helpful just to understand if they're orthodox or not is, do you believe the Trinity, the concept of the Trinity is in the Bible, or do you think it's pagan or something like that? focus on the concept, not the word, because there's lots of concepts in the Bible where the word isn't. So the concept of monotheism, only one God, is not in the Bible. The word Bible is not in the Bible. The Bible never uses the word Bible. It's a Latin word that means book, right? The question about Trinity is the concept, right? That's what we're getting at. Most say, no, it's pagan, it's Roman, it's from other religions. It's a way to see their lack of orthodoxy a lot of times. Another great question to ask, do you believe Jesus is God? Without qualification, without caveat. Almost always they'll say, he's a God, or something like that. Or yes, but then say, but do you believe you're a God as an Israelite male? If they say yes, then say, what differentiates Jesus' deity from yours? Because a lot of them will say yes, but what they're not telling you is they believe all black males are God as Israelites. And when they say God, they don't mean it like they're the one true God. They mean it in a different way, but they think it's okay to call themselves that. That's the God they mean with Jesus. Some of them. So basically, here's what I would say. Ask these kind of questions, and I don't want to tell you to be like rude, but be suspicious. So say, okay, and then ask a follow-up question without acting like you're being suspicious, because you're suspicious. Because that's what cultic groups do. It's the doctrinal problem is usually hidden above layers of rhetoric.
Dreams that has a message. Because I had a series of 2 dreams that has a message. I want to share. Church told me once, with faith you can boldly walk into heaven. I thought I was doing everything right. This is part of it, but I got married and her family were a Buddhist family and well respected, big wedding. I would tell them about Jesus, that Jesus loves them. One by one, all her brothers, her mom, in her room, and she pointed out a Bible and said, yes, I love Jesus too. But we were young and we departed, and her mom quickly, and I had a dream where she approached me in my dream. She was like a glowing white outfit. It didn't have a shine, but it just had like a light bulb glow. And she looked very happy. And she came closer to me and she rubbed my arm like this with 2 fingers, and she said, you know, like black people. And I woke up. I didn't understand, you know, like black people. And she rubbed my arm like this with 2 fingers, and she said, you know, like black people. And I woke up. I didn't understand the dream because I have black friends. I don't have anything against black people. I didn't understand. And I woke up. 2 fingers, and she said, you know, like black people. And I woke up. I didn't understand the dream because I have black friends. I don't have anything against black people. I didn't understand. So I had another dream right after this dream. That the kind of dream where you remember and never forget. But I remember in this dream that I was staring at my feet, that I was barefooted, and I was standing on something that felt perfect on my feet. Like the way the temperature, the way how it felt, like it wasn't like a flat marble slab where you can slip. This thing had felt like a nice, perfect grip. And I started looking at what I was standing on, and it was like it wasn't gold, but it was golden. And it kind of had like these sparkles in it where it kind of looked like it dissipated thicker, and as it got to the thicker of it. And that's when you feel the presence of no time. It's like you just know that there's no any time there. And so when I raised my eyes, because in the dream I was looking at the ground and even wanted a closer look at it, but then when I raised my eyes, I saw a gate. I said, I must be in heaven. The peace and where I stood, but I saw a gate, and on the other side of the gate, it was like a whole bunch of black people looking at me, and I had this chill of like, they're looking at me like, he think he's about to walk up in here or something. It was like a whole bunch of black people looking at me, and I had this chill of like, they're looking at me like, he think he's about to walk up in here or something. But these people had ancient type of look, like they were taller, different kind of shapes, but they were all black. I didn't see anything else. Had ancient type of look, like they were taller, different kind of shapes, but they were all black. I didn't see anything else.
Now, the recounting of
looking at me, and I had this chill of like, they're looking at me like, he think he's about to walk up in here or something. But these people had ancient type of look, like they were taller, different kind of shapes, but they were all black. I didn't see anything else.
now.
Shalom Yasharala, all praises and glory goes to our mighty power Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone and salutations unto the legmen, feet, and sheep of Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai. Sincerity and truth with this great gospel coming out of our Bible. And we're in the times where people seeing visions, people having dreams of what the future to come. Right? People seeing visions of America on fire, America destroyed, people having visions of martial law, all hell breaking loose in the streets, death, right? And also people seeing the visions of the kingdom. With the kingdom, you got this guy, man, he's seeing the vision of the kingdom, and then all he seen was black people in heaven. And he said they were looking at him like, man, you ain't finna come up in here. And that's the spirit for you Edomites, man. You Edomites, that's like the rich man, right? The rich man and the poor man. You gotta realize these devils, they're not gonna be nothing in the kingdom of heaven but slaves, peasants, right?